Okay. So a bit of a history of Future Day. So Future Day actually first began last year, and it began in the brain of Ben Goertzel, if you've ever heard of him. He's an AI researcher and developer, head of the OpenCog, or I think, he founded the OpenCog Foundation. I'm pretty sure he's the head of it. That's opencog.org. Definitely worth a visit. I just last minute did an interview with him this morning, so that's online as well. And so, what is Future Day and why Future Day? And why should we have like a ritualistic repeat of thinking about the future all the time? We do that with the past a lot. We have so many holidays out there that focus all on the past. We've got Christmas, we've got Easter, it's all about the past. We've got Memorial Days left, right and centre, but that's okay, and we can learn from the past. And if we treat the past in the right way, hopefully we can use those as lenses to help guide our future. But what I'd like to see is Future Day actually turns the lens around from the past into the future, and try to get better at making at goal setting, getting better at making predictions. It's a funny word, prediction, because it kind of sounds like you're going to make an exact prediction, like 2045 Singularity or something like that. With wide confidence intervals, we can perhaps make better predictions. So I think often when we look at the future, especially as it has been written about in the past in literature and religious writings, we've had a lot of millennialist thinking. We've seen the future as like a Rorschach feature of really sort of like a more of a reflection of our own cognitive state, of our own sort of biases. And maybe that's not the best way to look at the future. It looks as though we are facing some very interesting and complex challenges, and we may need to be very methodical and mechanical in the way we're thinking. That's just my opinion. Okay, but Future Day is not specifically for like transhumanism or strategic foresight. It's actually for anybody who wants to think about the future. It's a holiday with the open invitation to celebrate the fact that we're here today to talk about it, and that we hope that we can be here tomorrow to talk about it. It's a celebration of the fact that we're moving into the future, and we're moving at an incredible pace. So, instead of just standing around swinging our proverbial cigarette lighters to the tune of old songs about historical events. Not to say that's bad, that's good, let's do it, right? But there's no other holiday out there, there's no other ritual out there which is specifically designed to think about the future. And that's what Future Day is. And so I thank you very much for choosing to come along to a Future Day event in its early embryonic stages. And we hope this meme will take off, and we hope that there will be plenty of other people out there who will take up the idea and who think it's a great idea to consider what we might be doing, or how to navigate the future in the next 10 to 20, 30, next century. We've got some interesting times ahead. I want to be in the future. Can you imagine what it would be like if some of the technologies on the horizon actually fruit? Look, on the news, okay, recently you've heard about the Higgs boson discovery. That's amazing. It's amazing the sort of insights we're having about the raw nature of the universe. We're at a time now where we have access to information that we never did. It's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Can I say amazing again? It's amazing. Join me, okay? Join me in the future. We'll hope I'm there. So what have we discovered recently? Or what's interesting recently about some developments? So yeah, the Obama Brain Project. Who's heard of that? What's the official name? I forget. Anyway, right. So there's going to be billions of dollars that the American government are going to be funneling into trying to understand how a living brain works. Not a dead one, but actually a living brain. Okay. And I think that's great. Look, lots of money. Let's focus on how the brain works. After all, that's how we think. Understanding how we think. That's useful. All sorts of interesting discoveries could come out of that, such as Alzheimer's, research on Alzheimer's and how that works and how to mitigate the effects there. AI might come out of that, understanding how we generally think, or how human beings think internally, and maybe we can apply that to some form of algorithm, how the neocortex works. That's great. What I'm worried about is that it might actually take away from the funding of smaller projects that might be on the wrong track, that might be have cross ideals to the Obama Brain Project or whatever it's called. So, I mean, the future isn't always like an up process. It's not always like a discovery and that's wonderful and there's no compromises. It's always a set of compromises, right? There's the history has shown that most advances have had their compromises. So I mean, I don't expect that the future will be rosy. I think it's worth celebrating that we have got a future and that we have a framework today. We have civilization. We can network great minds together. We can network information. We can network research. And we have the tools to aid people research. We have the tools really to discover great things and achieve great things. And these are the sorts of things that like hundreds of years ago was considered utopic ideals. We've come a long way, but we've got a long way to go. I'd like to achieve some form of, I'd like society to achieve some, like a greater degree of resiliency against like outliers, against like catastrophes, man-made or otherwise, so that we can continue to survive and continue to progress. Because generally I think we've got a very unique place in the universe. We're intelligent creatures. We've developed some very interesting views in the world. We can do research. We're discovering the nature of the universe. I think that's a good thing. I wouldn't want it to just disappear and go away. I'd be kind of like sad if I was around to witness that. Anyway, so thank you all. Thank you very much for coming to Future Day. I'll stop blabbering on. And the first person we have